Greetings and God's peace be with you. My name is Kristofer, and I'm one of the priests at St. Francis Episcopal Parish and Community Center. It's good to have a moment to talk with you today. I'm sitting in a room where I've not been in a while. I mean, I've been in passing form, but it's a space that there's a lot of stuff that's accumulated here since our merger and coming together as one new congregation. And as many times as I've recorded these St. Francis Spiritual Sustenance video reflections, I've not done one of those in here, but I had a spiritual nudge to share with you a little something. I was thinking about the passage in Matthew's Gospel from Jesus. We often hear this during the summer as part of the lectionary series, but it reads, that's Matthew 7. Ask and it will be given you, search and you will find, knock and the door will be open for you. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks the door will be opened. I was thinking about that passage a lot recently after just having a rough week and not feeling great, and just trying to rest at the end of an intense work week. I can imagine you can relate in some way in your own life. But just trying to take care of myself, and we'd had a nice dinner, and my family was out on the back porch, my wife and daughter, and I came out and I was bringing some popcorn for us to sit and just enjoy some time before we got ready for bed. And I closed the sliding glass door and I heard this, and that noise was the sound of the wooden beam that locks in the base of the slider and keeps you from being able to open it. And I had this moment of panic. I thought, oh my gosh, I've just locked us out of the slider. And I looked through the sliding glass door, and sure enough, that was locked, to see that the front door that we could walk around to get to was also locked. And I could see that because the storm door was open, and you could see that the lock was turned. And I knew that the downstairs deadbolt it's always locked. Well, no bit of knocking was going to get us out. And while I believe that Christ is present with us in and through all things, that doesn't necessarily mean that Jesus is on the other side of the door, ready to unlock the door so I can get back in. So, I sat down for a second, took a deep breath, took another deep breath, and just started assessing the situation. Luckily, I had a phone and I could call the locksmith. Jesus sometimes shows up in the form of a locksmith, you may know. But as it turned out, our neighbors came out on either side of the townhouse that we're in and asked if they could help. And between them, we figured out some things, and I got a 6-foot ladder. And I was able to climb up on the ladder, and children, if you're listening, don't do this at home. Climb up on the ladder with somebody holding it securely, and was able, because I knew that the top window was cracked because we had some circulation, just trying to open the windows and have the fan on earlier in the day so that the wind could blow through. And I was able to push the screen through and open the window, but the ladder itself was a good bit of a distance away from the opening of the window. And while I could reach up there, standing on the very top of it, again, don't do this at home. So after assessing the situation for a little bit longer, I found something, a large box that I could put the ladder on, and I got up, and just as I was getting ready to throw myself in through the window, my phone rang and the locksmith appeared and was there. I decided at that point I'd gotten that far and I might as well just make the leap, and so I did, and got through safely, and ended up still having to greet the locksmith and pay him a portion for coming out for the service call. But it got me thinking about this passage, and in the way that God shows up for us when we are facing challenges, when we're facing barriers that prevent us from traveling through the entryways that we know we need to. Um, that saying, when one door closes, another door opens. Um, Sometimes I think we can just spend an inordinate amount of time beating our heads up against that closed door, or like just, kind of crumble before it, feeling like we can't, what are we going to do now that we can't get through that door? Well, in most instances, there are other options. It just takes us a moment to really ponder and to ground ourselves. And I was grateful for the discipline of prayer. But I remember processing with my daughter after the fact, because she was pretty upset that I was on the ladder in the way that I was. And I explained to her how I was safe, even if she didn't feel like I was. And I also told her that I didn't want her to do the same thing. But I feel like in our lives, sometimes we could remain stuck out on the porch, locked out for a good bit of time before we seek the help that we need. And maybe that's in the form of just knocking. And maybe we'll find that God is there to open that door, but maybe the invitation is to find another way, another entryway through which we can pass. The spot that I'm sitting in now, it actually has a bunch of these custom-made boxes, and all these boxes hold all of the stained glass that used to hang on the Providence Road campus over at the former St. Thomas. I cannot wait until we get these all hung up. We've got some craftspeople that are going to be working to install some of those in our entryway, and then to put to arrange them all over the building. So we have a sense of the story of Jesus's life, of Christ's presence with us, scattered throughout the building, to remind us of all the ways that God is with us in our lives, in our community. I was looking at the placard associated with one, and it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." That's for this big one here, and that's a passage from Revelation 3:20. I wonder how God is standing at the door, waiting for you, knocking. I wonder what invitation Jesus has for us as a community, what he's asking of us, what entryways are we being invited to pass through. And maybe they are the traditional door, and it's going to be a simple movement through the threshold, but maybe we need to get some help from a neighbor to get a ladder and create a whole system so that we can throw ourselves through the open window. Whatever way it may take for us to enter in, I trust that God is calling you and me into deeper life with Christ and into deeper life with one another. Thanks for listening, and be sure next time you go out that you bring your keys with you. Christ's peace be with you.